Welcome to our third Charm Chat, and we're going to be chatting about Series 1, Episodes 5 and 6 today, which were interesting. But it was always going to be hard after the last two episodes being so good. So, yeah. So I'll add the brilliant Josh Winning in, author of Heads Will Roll and other books, and my dear friend. So let me add Josh in now. Josh. Oh, hopefully Josh will be here. Joshy? Is it gonna work? Isn't it? Oh, here he is! Yay!
Am I in a dream?
I've put the pink haze on behind me in homage.
We're both dancing to garbage.
That's it, like do. Oh god. I thought I had to go with the pink tonight, definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put my lamp back.
Oh no, it looks so cool. Oh dear. Oh well, I've been so excited to chat.
It's Charm Chat again.
Charm Chat. It always feels like it takes forever to come round, and I always resist watching to just before the chat. But so which I did.
It's so hard not to watch it before the chat.
Yeah, definitely. Because I think if I watched it too early, am I going to forget? But
exactly.
I think these episodes were quite unforgettable in one respect. So I think I would have been all right. But,
absolutely, especially for these two.
Yeah. So for those of you, if you're new around here, so every month we're chatting 2 episodes of Charmed from the very beginning. So Charmed was a TV series that ran from 1998 to 2006. And it follows 3 sister witches, Prue, Piper and Phoebe, who juggle their lives, love drama, work drama and more, basically to save us innocents from evil. And last month we covered episodes 3 and 4 of season 1, which were like chef's kiss episodes. They were both fantastic. So you can catch up on that on both of our feeds. We've got that on there. And this month, as I said, it's time for 5 and 6 to shine.
We're from the frying pan into the fire here, I think.
So we will be breaking down each episode into various categories like we have done. So like love drama, sister bond, charming dialogue. So yeah, if you're joining us and you've watched along, chat along in the comments and we'll read them out. But yeah, I'm excited to get into it just to see what everyone thinks. Matthew said it does take forever to come back around. There should be 2 a month then.
Yeah.
Yeah. To get through, if we want to try and get through it all, we might have to at some point, to be honest.
Otherwise it will take us 8 years to get through it.
Yeah, so we've got to up the ante at some point. So, but so should we get into it then?
Yeah, let's do it.
Series 1, Episode 5, Dream Sorcerer. Ooh. So little synopsis. So sisters Phoebe and Piper cast a spell to try and find love, the love that they're missing from their lives. But things
Are they looking for love?
Well, do they need love? So the love that they're missing from their lives, but things don't quite turn out the way that they thought. Meanwhile, a sleep researcher who can enter the dreams of women by dream leaping with murderous intentions targets Prue, who just all she did was reject a drink from him at Quake, and he took it very personally.
He did.
He
didn't waste time hitting on the waitress immediately after that.
No, he was like, I just need someone.
I need a dream.
Need a dream. So he picks Prue as his next victim, where he taunts and threatens her under a pink hue. And all whilst Garbage Stroke of Luck, which is one of my favourite Garbage
Oh,
songs, which is now
just so good.
plays in the background. And just remember, if you die in your dreams, you die in real life. So I
Yeah.
texted Josh yesterday and I said, I've literally written in my notes, it's basically some Freddy Krueger shit coupled with Point Horror Dream
Yeah,
Date. Which we read this one
we
together, we did for
did.
the book club.
Yeah.
But even like down to like the pink hue, oh, I'm dropping it. The pink, like like
Yeah.
everything. I was just like, this is weird.
There are no
Somebody's
original
read
ideas.
this. When was this out? Yes, in 1993, this
Oh,
came out. So,
definitely
hmm.
inspiration for sure.
Definitely. So yeah, so I thought I'd mix things up a little bit. I meant to say, Josh, you're in my world now.
Oh no.
In my most dodgy acting voice. Oh,
The
like,
more he spoke, the more I was just like, what? This is definitely a choice.
like, just before we get into it, let's just talk about him really quick because
Yeah.
I've never seen him, or not that I believe in anything else. I know he was in Fast and Furious, I believe, but I've not
One of
seen
them,
those
yeah.
films. But was that how he acts, or was that a choice on how to act in that
I think he
moment?
genuinely might just be a little bit strange. Or maybe that's what people want from him. Like I did
Yeah.
I did Google him earlier and he plays a really tiny role in the first Blade film with Wesley
Oh,
Snipes from like 98.
yeah.
And I didn't remember him at all, so I looked up a clip of him and it's the moment where Blade is captured and one of the henchmen is playing around with Blade's sword, so to speak.
Mm.
No, he actually is
Oh.
playing around with Blade's sword, but is booby trapped so that these spikes come out of the hilt and they destroy this vampire's hand. And the guy playing it is this guy from Charmed, but
Oh.
he's just like playing the exact same character because he's like, ah, going
I need to see that clip. Like, oh dear.
yeah,
He was,
worth
yeah.
watching.
Yeah, I'm going to look that up after the chat, actually. But yeah, I was like, I just didn't get it. Like, I was like, why?
Why is he talking like that?
Yeah,
I mean,
I
I
didn't
suppose
understand.
I get that he was going for like creepy, unhinged, don't trust this guy kind of thing, but he
But
mostly just sounded a bit bored and confused.
it's just like, I'll break every bone in your body. Like,
And then
it's just.
being questioned by Andy and Morris, and like they're showing the picture of his dead girlfriend who was his first victim.
Yeah.
He's sort of like, I'm sorry, it's just really emotional for me. And they don't suspect anything strange about the way he's talking to them.
I mean, I guess, like, in one respect, because when he was in the dreamlike state, he was slightly more confident
Yeah,
in the creepy talk. But no, I just don't
yeah.
think it worked. It didn't translate very well to the
Do you think
screen.
he was going for like a thing where he was doing sort of like when he's awake, he's actually asleep? He acts like he's asleep when he's
Oh,
awake. And then when he's in his dreams, he's more
he's alive.
alive in his
Oh,
dreams.
maybe.
Oh my
But
God,
still, there's no
it was a brilliant
excuse.
performance.
I was like, there's no excuse. And you're like, it was brilliant. Oh, yeah. It just, maybe that is a good point. It could have been. Maybe that was the direction. I'd love to
Good.
know. Just like, I would just really love to know
Yeah.
why.
I can't remember. Did they, because I know that the House of Halliwell podcast, they get a lot of the guest stars back to be
Yeah.
interviewed to chat about the
Oh, I have to have
episode.
a look.
I don't know if they ever got him back.
Oh,
I would have,
okay.
yeah, I'd have to have a look.
I would just love to know if it was his choice or he was directed that way to do that.
Yeah.
That's all I need to know. That's all the answers I
Yeah.
need.
Yeah. If it was his choice, fine. He went with it.
Yeah,
It was definitely
definitely.
there. It was definitely there.
Oh, Karen said episode 5 was literally a point horror / Twilight crossover with Dream
Yes.
Edward telling her about his world. Yeah, definitely. And Kirsty said his acting was bad. Stargazer said he sounded like he was channeling Christian Slater, trying to channel Jack Nicholson and failing both miserably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can see that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sharon said she loves Blade. Yeah, such a good
Oh,
film.
yeah, so good. The
Trina
first
said,
one, brilliant.
oh, yeah, first one, really good. Trina said, yeah, his voice was so bad. And when he was being interrogated, like you said, Josh, he was so fake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wooden acting 101, Sharon said.
The only
Definitely.
bits that were creepy, I know we're going to get on to Demon of the Week, but the only bits for me that were creepy was when he was speaking the same lines as the characters in the dreams. Like he knew
Yeah.
exactly what they were going to say.
Yeah, that
That
was
was quite
creepy.
spooky.
Yeah. Because you could just imagine being in that state and that happening. That felt very dreamlike, didn't it? That would
Yeah.
happen in your dreams,
Yeah,
definitely.
definitely. Creepy.
So I've mixed things up a little bit, and because this episode was more focused on the love elements and the love drama and the love stalking,
Yeah.
I thought we'd do Love is Pain first.
Ooh.
So they're romance dramas. So yeah, so basically it all kicks off, doesn't it? After I think they're in Quake and they see a couple going at it for an hour.
Sounds
Phoebe
awful.
says, "Oh no." Oh, so Phoebe and Piper then decide that they could use the Book of Shadows to cast a love spell.
How to
So
attract a lover.
yeah, so obviously we get a whole scene when they're casting this spell. What did you think of this whole let's cast a spell to get love and things like that? What did you think?
It felt like it felt like a Sabrina plot. It felt like
Yeah.
they'd kind of looked at Sabrina to look at the fun sort of spells that they could play around with. And they were like, right, what's the charmed grown up version of a Sabrina
Mm,
subplot, I guess. And it was fun. Like I remember watching this episode, when it first aired and thinking that was a really fun idea and kind of
yeah.
kind of what I wanted from Charmed
Yeah.
at that point, where you wanted them to have fun with the magic,
Mm,
get into scrapes, everything goes wrong. So yeah, in some ways it was really like a nice, fun subplot to
yeah.
counterbalance the creepy, weird dream stuff that was going on.
Yeah.
Um, didn't really understand why that spell was in the Book of Shadows if it was blatantly self-gain.
Yeah. Because obviously we know from previous episodes they can't do anything for self gain. And I think Prue does even say that.
Yeah.
She's like, that's for self gain. They were like, well, not really. But really it is, right?
Yeah. Wonder if it was just like maybe, witches sort of historically maybe haven't been the luckiest in love. So
Yeah.
maybe it was sort of a bit like a little a little helping hand if they were really
Yeah.
struggling. And like
Yeah.
you want your witches to be happy if they're going to be saving innocents. So if finding a lover makes them happy, go for
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, definitely. But I love the whole scene when they're reading like the spell out, and then they go through like what they want. Well, they read each other's, don't they?
Yeah.
And I love the little joke about being well endowed. I mean,
Yes.
employed.
Yeah. We all want a man who's well employed.
Well employed. Oh
Yeah.
dear, that's what I'm going to say to Kev. Like, I married you because you were very well employed.
Yes. So well
Going to
employed.
use that line in future. Um, but I just love the fact as well. Phoebe's really made me laugh when like she's going like basically on. She wants someone to be on a Harley motorbike. All these like scented candles, body oils, and then in the end she's like, and
Yeah.
recycles.
Yeah. That seems
Yeah,
like a pretty good guy to me.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But
I do
when,
love that you learn more about the characters through
yeah,
what they think they want in a man.
yeah, and then that leads on to what I was just going to say because when they were describing it, I was like, oh, this is like to me, it feels like a bit of foreshadowing because
Yeah.
really, you know, Piper then gets Leo, and Leo is very much like what she's described, what
Yeah.
she wants, and then obviously Cole, like down the line, and I
Yes.
was like, oh,
That's
this is
so
really interesting.
true.
Yeah, like it was
Really good
just like they were
continuity.
describing those characters, so
Yeah.
someone must have thought about it quite well when introducing those characters, I think,
Yeah.
which was really interesting. And I did
Yeah.
appreciate the naked man that came in and drank the milk.
Hands. Yeah.
Hands. Yeah.
Do you know what though? I don't find food spillages
It
particularly
was a bit
attractive.
like
When he drip
down his.
when it drips all down his mouth, I was a bit like, oh no, come on.
I'd be like, oh, I need the mop. Get the mop
Yeah.
out.
And milk in the heat in
Oh,
San
yeah,
Francisco
that would
heat
just
would smell
smell.
bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
Hans.
Oh, Hans.
No,
Not good.
put
Oh,
off him
Hun.
now. Oh,
Yeah,
Hun.
but he did recycle, so
Yes, he did. But the way he comes back in and puts the milk bottle in and
yeah.
recycles, and then I think
The
doesn't.
recycling bin that you never see ever again is there for that one moment.
Oh dear, it doesn't Phoebe say, don't worry, we had safe sex,
Yeah,
lots of safe sex,
yeah.
and I was like, that's the Phoebe we know.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Yeah, well, because she's a bit younger, she's a bit more
Yeah,
carefree. She's been to the big city. She's the youngest, so she wants to have a bit of a wild time, a bit rebellious.
yeah,
Yeah, why not?
definitely. I like
Go for it, Phoebes.
that.
Yeah.
Trina said there's too much love in this one.
Oh, it is a
uh,
love one.
yeah.
But I don't think it would have. I don't think it would have shown on Valentine's Day. That's a bit too
Yeah, it
late.
would have been, yeah, a little bit, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
Um, Trina said Hans, I don't know how you say it, Hans,
Yeah.
giving vibes
Hands.
like, hey, Phoebe, I'm going to love you to death.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
And
fun. It was fun seeing it escalate to the point
yeah,
of like danger.
yeah,
They
like all
love them
them
too much.
flowers, and then even Piper goes on a date, doesn't she, with Jack, I think it was.
Yeah.
And like she realizes it's too much. Everyone's like infatuated with her,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
this
The
is not
difference
what
between
they
love and
want.
infatuation.
Yeah, yeah, and it's not what they want at all. They
No.
realise.
Even her flaws were amazing.
I've got a tattoo. Oh, oh
He was
dear.
quite cute. I quite like Jack, but I preferred him with the
Yeah, I was
glasses
like,
on.
yeah, glasses on, definitely.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, he's an interesting character. Obviously a regular at Quake.
Yeah.
So whether we see him again, I can't remember, but probably not.
Yeah.
Matthew said, and I wrote this in my notes, so Matthew were thinking the same. I'd like to have the Halliwell's candle budget.
Oh, oh my God, yes.
That
Prue's
bath
bath.
that Prue makes.
Out
So many
just to set up the
candles.
bath before she could enjoy being in the bath.
So much effort.
I
Like,
know.
I'll just stick with
I
my
can barely
one
do one.
candle.
Yeah. Even the one is a
Uh,
pain.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It gets
Normally,
quite hot as well. Candles do get quite,
yeah.
it is a live flame. But if you're in the bath with the candles around you, that's really quite hot.
Yeah, and like she had a lot and lots
She
of
did.
candles,
She knows how to
definitely.
look after herself, Prue.
Yeah,
She's
bless
got
her,
like
self
sus.
care.
Yeah.
Oh, Trina said Andy was sweet in this one though. Yeah,
Yeah.
Andy grew on me in these two episodes. So remember, I said, "Oh, I wasn't a fan of Andy in the last two."
Getting a bit
But in
much,
this,
wasn't he?
yeah, but in this one, I kind of liked his open-mindedness. I
Yeah.
like the way he's very open-minded. Like these strange things happen, but he's like down for it. He's like, yeah, it could be something weird.
Yeah. He almost
Doesn't,
wants to believe it.
yeah, like he's like, hmm.
And the show doesn't like really fully address why he would be open to that kind of
Mm,
like an otherworldly thing, but there is like a moment in a later to season 1 episode where something happens to him as a kid, and the sisters are like, "Do you think that's why he,
Oh,
is had a
yeah,
bit of suspicion or
yeah,
whatever?" So
yeah.
it's quite nice continuity there as well.
Yeah, I like that because it really, in these 2 episodes, especially for me, it really did come across that he was like, oh, these weird things happen. And yeah, it could
Yeah,
be non-human. Like, he doesn't actually say it, but he just comes
yeah,
across that way. And I liked
yeah,
him for that.
yeah. It was
Um,
a fun episode for him and Morris
yeah,
because
yeah, because
they're
Morris was
investigating and
back.
having a bit of banter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I liked that. And it was nice to see Morris back as well because he wasn't in the last 2, was he? I don't think.
yeah, yeah.
So I was like, yay! Trina said drinking straight from the carton or the milk bottle. Blech. Yeah.
Bad.
Sharon said use
Hands
a
off.
napkin, hands.
Yeah,
Hands
yeah.
off. Hands off.
He's off.
Yeah, get the mop out. Yeah, that's right. That's what I'd do. I'd be like, oh no. Yeah, Kirsty said a bit like Mulder, like I want to
Yeah,
believe, like that kind of stuff.
yeah. They
Um,
definitely have a Mulder and Scully relationship.
yeah, yeah,
Morris
it
does
really
not
does come
believe for a
across. No,
second.
definitely not. He's like a
Yeah,
non-believer,
yeah.
definitely.
I like
So,
that. I think it was in this episode. It will make sense if it was. There's a shot of Morris sitting at his desk, and behind him there's a sticker that says domestic abuse isn't
yes, I saw
isn't
that.
good or isn't funny or something like
Mm,
that. Which was like a nice little nod to clearly the plot of the Demon of the Week, which was like domestic
yeah,
violence, pretty much.
I didn't make that connection. I saw the sticker behind, and I thought, oh, because I think the last time we saw them in the office, there was like the Dare poster was up.
Ah,
Yeah, and then so that's why I think I noticed the sticker.
yeah. Well,
And I
now that
thought,
we're
oh,
watching it in high def, we can
that's
see
it. We can
everything.
see everything
Yeah,
now.
there's detail revealed.
Oh dear. So what did you think? So the other aspect of love in here. Oh, and just to point out the cat as well,
Yeah,
with all its like cat admirers coming because it was in
yeah,
the vicinity of the spell.
yeah.
I thought that was genius.
I just love the fact that they'd set up the bed for the cat to sit at like sort of head shoulder level behind
Yeah.
them, watching the spell, just like doing a little spell, are we?
I
Just wanted to be
thought that was
involved. Like cats are
such a
like that.
good little joke, like little twist, like
Yeah,
having it like
yeah,
he got wrapped up in the spell as well and got
yeah,
all these unwanted attention from the cats.
yeah,
So what did you think? So the other aspect of love is obviously Prue has a secret admirer, loosely.
yeah,
And obviously she gets this stalker, yeah, for sending the drink back, because she mentioned she has a boyfriend, so you get the impression that things are getting a bit more
yeah.
serious with Andy.
Uh,
So what did you think? Did you like that whole opposite of love, like stalker aspect?
yeah, I actually hadn't really clocked that that's what was going on, but yeah, that is clever.
Mm,
It's like the dark side of obsession, I suppose, infatuation, like you said.
yeah.
Um, yeah, it was a funny one for Prue because she's so active in sort
Mm,
of she's never a passive character. She's always very active. So
yeah.
it was interesting to see her completely shackled by this
Mm,
guy. She couldn't move, she couldn't really do anything to save herself in the dream world.
yeah.
So in some ways it was a bit frustrating as a viewer because you know who Prue is and you want her just to kick ass.
Mm,
But then
yeah.
maybe that's why it is effective because you expect her just to sort of be the shit out of this guy,
Yeah.
but she's completely paralyzed.
Yeah, I suppose it shows his power in that dreamlike
Mm,
state of like how much control he does have over her.
mm,
So I think that does come across well, actually. Like on the screen, you can feel that he has just got ultimate control
yeah,
over her. She doesn't even, she can't, hasn't even got control over her thoughts to use her power
no,
at the beginning. Obviously, at the end, the sisters get through and she manages to, but you kind of you get that impression, don't you, that she just can't, she's just helpless. And that's
Yeah.
actually pretty scary, isn't it,
Yeah.
really?
Really
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So talking about our demon of the week then, just while we're on the subject, so Whittaker Burnham, I
What a
think his
name.
name was. I mean, that even just sounds like creepy.
Burnham.
Hi, Georgia.
Yeah.
So obviously so he is neither a demon nor a witch or anything. He's completely mortal.
He's
So
a mad
saying
scientist.
demon of the week, yeah, is a bit loose. But obviously he kills women who he feels have scorned him by visiting them in their dreams. So do you think he was a good villain? So poor acting aside, was he a good villain for them to tackle?
Yeah, he's a good villain, sort of in theory. It's a great X-Files case.
Yeah.
You know, like this, the locked room mystery. How are these women dying?
Mm,
They're found dead in bed with every bone in their body crushed, but they've never left the apartment. So how are they dead?
yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun, it's a creepy, horrible, fun, you know, storytelling wise idea.
Yeah.
And it is interesting to see them go up against somebody who isn't in the book,
Mm,
is a human. So do they punish, do they punish humans for being bad?
yeah.
Yeah, it was a really fun idea, but I think that it struggled a bit. And also it was a bit sort of like nobody really believed Prue.
Yeah, I find that quite difficult that no one believed her till right at the very end, obviously when she's in the hospital
mm,
bed.
mm. I
Um,
think it was partly because you hadn't really seen her being completely exhausted. You know, the
mm,
start of the episode, she's at Quake with her sisters. She looks amazing,
yeah,
having a good time. She's not sort of, I mean, she might be yawning possibly, but you don't really see her like absolutely hangdog tired,
yeah.
desperate just to go home to bed because she's working so hard.
Mm,
So
mm.
then when Piper's like, you've been working so many hours, blah, 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 you kind of feel a bit like, no, she seems all right, you
Yeah,
know?
she's out partying.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I thought that was a bit odd, the way they just suddenly like jimmied in the fact that she has been working super hard, so she's possibly just tired, and that's why she's
Yeah,
all these things are happening. Especially like with the scratches that happen following
yeah.
the bath scene that disappear. They really do brush that off.
And
Um,
why did
kind of
they
quick.
heal? Why did they disappear? It
Yeah,
was a bit convenient.
yeah.
Yeah,
Because if you think about like Freddy Krueger, like what happens in the dream, like if you got injured, then you've got that injury,
yeah,
right, in the real world. So yeah,
yeah,
why didn't they just stick that she had still had the
yeah.
scratch?
I suppose because if Prue had been like, look, I've got razors
Yeah.
on my back, then Piper would have to be a bit more understanding.
I don't know. I feel like she would have said, "Oh, you must have just like scratched yourself or something."
Yeah,
Like they were very quite dismissive. They were too wrapped up in their own little love
they
potion, I think,
were.
in this one.
Yeah.
So yeah, and what did I write down? I put when he goes, "I'm going to love you to death." That made me laugh as well. I was like, "Are you? Are you? Convince
and
me with your acting."
and in the very first kill, when he's like, I can dance in my dreams, I can transform in my dreams. He doesn't transform anything, he just dips her and then lifts her back up again. That's not a transformation.
So yeah, you did such a good impression then, Josh, as well. It was like I was just watching him on the screen.
That's how good of an actor I am. I
I
can copy
know.
him.
Yeah, definitely. Oscar is coming
Yeah,
your way.
yeah.
Melina said, "Yeah, I found Prue's paralysis frightening. It's one of
Mm,
my worst
mm,
fears to be so helpless while being mentally aware." Yeah, so it's like that. Me and my younger brother were talking about this sleep paralysis and
yeah.
stuff like that the other day, and that's just frightening in itself, really.
Hmm.
Oh. Stargazer said it happens a lot in nightmares though because you want to move in them but you can't move at all. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Hmm.
So I do feel like they did get that across in
Yeah.
that respect.
Yeah.
That was one good thing.
Yeah.
So Karen said, when they said every bone was crushed, I said it in the actor's tone then, but he didn't say that, it was the police.
Every
When they
bone
said
was crushed.
every bone was crushed. And then showed a very uncrushed girl lying in the bed with all
Yeah.
her bones intact. Yeah. I suppose they
Budget
had to keep it like kind of PG.
PG. Yeah. Although I did love the bit where he actually was vanquished, and there's that shot of his face, and he's just like,
Oh
ah,
yeah,
and like
like
the veins pop and everything. That was
yeah,
great.
that was
Very
really cool.
satisfying and
Yeah,
horrible.
I like that as well. So we obviously mentioned about the sisters. So what did you think of the sister bond in this episode? Like we've mentioned, we thought it was a bit fractured, a little bit. Well, not fractured, but a bit distant in this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, you have a few moments of all three of them together, but Prue is very much off doing her own
Yeah.
thing, and then Piper and Phoebe are having their sort of like hijinks on the other
Mm.
side of the room. Actually, Prue, I noticed, was wearing the dress that she wears in the promo shots for the series,
Ah,
like the sort of like
yeah.
V with
I
like a
didn't pick that up. Well done.
velveteen. Yeah, in the very
Yeah.
first scene, she's wearing that dress. So
Oh,
bit
I
of
like
recycling
it.
going on. Yeah. Um,
Oh,
I loved Piper and Phoebe together. I
yeah.
loved that they have this moral dilemma that they are sort of like debating.
Mm,
And they're like having fun with it and taking the mickey out of each other and stuff. And they can sort of
yeah.
argue, debate about the rights and wrongs of what they're doing, but
Mm,
you just feel that they love each other no matter what. You know, it doesn't matter what happens, they still love and respect each
yeah.
other.
Yeah.
So that was nice. It was nice just to see that dynamic for those two
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, I agree on that. I really like seeing them like having a bit of fun together as well. Especially,
Yeah,
you know, after the seriousness and the emotion of the last episode. It was just
yeah,
nice seeing them together. I quite like that. It brought the fun side of Piper out, and you know,
yeah.
and I thought that was pretty cool. I liked
But
that.
she pretty early on, she's like, "This is weird. I don't like it." You know, she's
Mm,
not enjoying it. Um, so I do like that she's kind of got a bit of Prue's sensible
yeah,
side, but then she can have a bit of Phoebe's fun as well.
yeah. So she's like very middle between them both, which is nice
Yeah,
characteristics to
yeah,
have. I like
yeah,
that. What did I write? I wrote down. So at the end, I loved the way. Well, unfortunately, it got to a point where Prue had to like fall asleep in the car and crash the car for the
yeah,
sister to realise like there's something majorly wrong. It was that phone call, wasn't it? And they were like
yeah.
knew there was
Crank
something
the
wrong.
stereo,
So
Prue.
yeah. And then obviously Prue ends up in hospital in a coma, and then that's when the sisters really come together in this one.
Yeah,
So did you like that whole ending of them then all coming together and realising Prue is in serious danger?
yeah, yeah. And I like that her hearing their voices is what empowers her to take
Yeah.
down whatever his name is, Dream Dude.
Oh yeah.
I
I
love how
keep
he calls
forgetting.
himself the Dream Sorcerer.
Which
Like such a
the
nerd.
the dream sorcerer, Whittaker Burnham.
Yeah, a nerd. Bless him. Yeah,
Oh dear.
I liked that even though there was no magic, it was more about their connection as sisters that
Yeah.
saved Prue.
Yeah, and obviously they managed to get through to her to use her power in that dreamlike state,
Yeah.
and that effectively saves Prue.
Mhm.
Because if not, I think she might have been a goner.
Absolutely. After five
Definitely.
episodes,
I
dumped off a
know.
building.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. With every bone in her body broken,
Yeah.
but not broken.
Still looks great.
Yeah. Oh dear. So yeah, I really liked it at the end that they came together, which is what we expect from an episode, don't we? We
Yeah.
want them to work together in the end. Um, So the Sharon said very middle sister energy. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Warrior.
That's why
She's the
we love
warrior.
Piper. So the mythology then from this side. So I wrote down that this is the first time the sisters use the perfect man spell, because I think it does
Yes,
appear again in another episode down the line.
it does.
Prince
Yeah,
Charming or
yeah, season
something like that.
6.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So, and I think that's when Paige is in it, right? I
yeah.
think off the top of my head, testing my memory here. so, so
Good memory.
mythology, yeah, mythology wise, this is the first time we see that, and we also is this the first time we find out that the spells in the Book of Shadows can be reversed?
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
We don't
because
see
I'm
them do
sure
it,
that
but they
hadn't
say that
wasn't.
they,
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
sure it wasn't mentioned in previous episodes that if they cast a spell, they can reverse a spell.
yeah, that's true. There's
Yeah.
like a bit of a get out clause.
Yeah, like they suddenly thought, oh, we better put this in.
Yeah,
Might be
yeah.
might be handy. Put this in the mythology.
I like the way that they sort of, it's easier for them to do the spell because they're women. And if it's a man doing the spell, he has to put some like honey toast or something, honey cake in his armpit for days. Which actually, I feel like that feels like equality because a man should have to work harder, frankly.
You
You
should
know?
have to put that honey toast in your armpit.
Yeah, yeah.
Sticky.
Oh, gross.
Oh dear. But and I also loved the references to the girl's mom,
Yeah.
with like sayings that the mom used to say to them, and then obviously the song that is referenced
What
on the
was
phone
it?
call.
Was
Was
the
there
road
something
trip
like
song?
road trip? Yeah. And I was like, are we gonna hear it?
Yeah,
But
we
yeah,
never
did you pick up
did.
any other mythology aspects in
The
this one?
the one thing that I wondered was, is this the first time that we see how a spell cast in the manor by any of the sisters affects everybody in the manor?
Oh yeah.
So obviously the cat gets affected as well, hilariously.
Yeah.
I don't think Prue not in the house?
I don't think she was in the house at the time.
Mm.
Yeah. Mm,
If she was in the house, then this isn't the first time that
yeah.
happened. If she wasn't in the house, it is. So, and that kind of comes
Oh.
up in episode 8, which is when they cast a spell and it affects the whole house. So,
Ah. This
yeah.
is kind of the first time. So if you're in that vicinity, if you're in the house, then the
Mm,
spell works on you. Oh,
yeah.
it's the lucky Leo, the handyman, wasn't in the house then.
Oh, yeah. I
Mm.
know. What would have happened there?
Oh no, can you imagine?
Yeah.
Oh
Oh,
dear.
Leo. When's he going
But yeah, that's
to come
kind of,
back?
I know, we kind of got a little
Been
glimpse, didn't
ages.
we? And that was
Oh, I
it.
know.
But
I
as
do know when to come back. It's fine. It's soon.
is it soon?
Yeah.
Yes. But this is where we thought they'd swapped some of the first episodes around, because I
Yeah.
definitely think if these two episodes came after episodes 1 and 2, like it would have been a bit, I'm not sure about this.
Yeah.
So I think they
I
made the
agree.
right choice. If they did swap the episodes around, they made the right choice in the order that they put them in.
Yeah.
Because,
Yeah,
you
because
know,
this one didn't feel. This one felt like one they could have just picked up and
yeah,
slotted in because the relationship with Andy wasn't really defined.
no,
You know, she kind of says she's seeing somebody, but it's not like in stone
yeah,
or anything.
yeah,
So yeah, this feels like one they could easily have moved.
yeah, I agree. And I feel the same with the next
Yeah,
episode as
totally.
well. I feel that they could have. So I do think I'm still convinced that they did move the order around. And I
Yeah,
think if they did, they definitely made the right decision, 100%.
completely. Yeah, completely. They're smart, those people.
Very smart. Nikki said, I think it showed as well how vulnerable Prue can be. Despite being the eldest and expected to protect her younger sisters, there will always be times when she needs protecting herself. Yeah, that's true.
Hmm.
Because so far we've seen a strong Prue who protects them, haven't we? We haven't really seen that side of her being that vulnerable before.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. And it's interesting that the thing that made her vulnerable was her mind, essentially. Because she's always been the one with such a strong sense of self and sort of,
Yeah.
very intelligent, very driven, a bit of a control freak, which is obviously like a mental
Yeah.
thing. So interesting to
Yeah.
see her come undone when it's entirely a mental attack rather than a physical attack.
Yeah,
You feel
that's
like
so true.
Prue would not pull a punch. She could beat the shit out of somebody if they
Yeah,
were being nasty to her. But
definitely.
if you go in for her soft underbelly, which I think is her emotions and her sort of psychology,
Yeah.
that's when she really feels it, I think.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
my thing's sliding down.
Oh,
Sorry. Okay.
it's the dream sorcerer, Josh. He's come for revenge because we've been taking the pee out of his bad acting.
I'm the man of your dreams.
Oh dear. Trina said, I really wanted Piper to ask the Book of Shadows which spell she needs when she was manually searching. Oh yeah, so like, when she was looking up to see if she could find anything about the dream sorcerer.
Yeah.
So what Trina's saying is, why can't she say, find this spell, and then it like flips the pages to find the spell?
True, yeah. I think that's like a superpower because she does it in season 2 when she's got like super advanced witch powers.
So perhaps she's got
Yeah,
to learn that skill to
yeah,
enable that to happen.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure Grams
Interesting.
does it as well. Grams is quite good at just flipping to the page that she wants.
Yeah.
Who's
Um,
Grams? She's not been in it yet. We don't know.
yeah, we'll find out. So our next category is work it.
Work
Work
it.
it. So all about job dramas. So
Yeah.
there wasn't much it's a bit of a tongue twister, that is. Job drama in this, except for obviously Sky the bartender. This is all I wrote
Oh,
down. Sky the bartender, R.I.P., was definite work drama because obviously she doesn't turn up for work at Quake the next day because she's brown bread
dead.
dead.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, that's quite work drama, really.
Yeah. I mean, you see Piper at work a lot, and
Yeah,
she's very busy, and she's
yeah,
sort of like serving customers, giving them
yeah.
their meals. I did think that you see her in the kitchen talking to Phoebe, and Piper is like chopping up vegetables and stuff in the work kitchen. And then directly after
Yeah.
that scene, she's at home chopping up vegetables in the kitchen at home. I was like, Piper, leave it at work, love.
She's
She
a
can't get away from
workaholic.
it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't notice that. Oh bless her.
Poor Piper.
But also as well, obviously, Prue falling asleep at work at her desk,
Mm-hmm.
because obviously she's been overworked.
60 to 70 hours a week is what Piper
Whoa!
says. 60 to 70 hours
That
a
Rex,
week.
he's got a lot to
That's
answer for.
like 10 hours a day.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well,
And
no
you just
wonder the
know that
poor
she's not
thing was
taking a lunch break.
tired. Legal requirement.
It's America in the 90s, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So it was nice to see Rex back at the auction house
Yeah.
as well. I was like, oh, he's back. That's why else I think it was in a different order to what they originally intended.
Because Hannah's not in this one, is she? It's just
No,
Rex.
yeah, just Rex makes a little brief appearance. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
Rex.
He's
But then
back, looking
he's
Rexy.
look, you're Rexy, and that's it. Every time we mention Rex now, that's it. It's like he's looking Rexy.
So Rexy.
Oh dear.
He's Rexy and he knows it.
He's too Rexy for that shirt. Oh, we're here all week.
He's going to have Rex on the beach.
I can't top that one. Next week I'll try. Next month I'll try and think. Next month I'll try and think of like a Rexy reference and see what I can come up with. The thing is, he's not that sexy
No.
Rexy,
Yeah.
but you know. But the main work drama for me was obviously Andy. That
Yeah.
was kind of like work drama because obviously he's got
Yeah.
to figure out what's going on with all these ladies that are being killed, and obviously he's trying to figure it out. And then he goes to the lab,
Yeah.
and
He's
again
like,
very
wake him
open-minded.
up.
You got to
It's like,
wake him up.
why do you need to wake him up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you spot any other work dramas or anything?
Um, no, yeah, I
No,
just enjoyed the
it
fact that
wasn't very
Morris was
work
back.
centric.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah, it
Kirsty
kind of
said
fits
Rex on the beach was heart eye, not heart eye, star eye emoji. That was great.
Just imagine him on the beach being all Rexy.
So Sign of the Times then talking about the lab was for me,
Oh,
I loved when they're like, shall I have all the lab technicians paged?
oh yeah,
Because they weren't there. And I was like, oh, well, nowadays we'd just be like, I'll text them in the group chat.
yeah.
But yeah,
I
so you
missed
would have
that
had to
one.
page all of them individually.
Oh my God,
Can you
on their
imagine?
beeper.
Yeah, on their beeper. So
Yeah,
for me, that was the Sign of the Times. Did you notice anything else?
yeah. A really very pre 9/11 joke about it's a pickup line when he's like, "Are you a terrorist? Because you're the bomb." And
Uh,
that was a bit like,
uh,
oh dear, that wouldn't be on
yes.
TV.
That didn't age
Yeah,
well. And what a bad pickup line. Like, I
really
wouldn't fall for
rubbish
that.
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No. Not even
um,
teen me would fall for that one.
yeah, like, oh,
Yeah.
Wince, get
No.
some bare material.
Didn't like that one.
Prue's chunky cell phone, which I think we've seen before, but
Oh yeah,
still
Trina's
brilliant.
just said the massive mobile
Oh,
phone.
oh, that's probably why she was falling asleep because she couldn't hold it up. It was so heavy.
Yeah, oh definitely.
Um,
Um
and you mentioned that Phoebe reassures everybody that she had safe sex, lots of safe sex. And that is
mm,
such a 90s
yeah,
CW sort of get out clause, where it's like you
yeah,
can show your characters or you can tell the viewers that your characters have had sex, but you have to say it's safe sex.
yeah. Which I think is a good message to put
Sure.
across.
Yeah, I don't know if it
Yeah,
was like a legal thing or a moral thing, but it
yeah,
was definitely in all of the 90s teen TV
yeah,
shows.
yeah, definitely. And if I think about it, definitely was always mentioned, wasn't it?
Yeah, even if it was like,
Yeah,
don't forget to wear a condom and all that kind
yeah.
of stuff. Yeah.
Definitely. Matthew said, Sign of the Times, the phone rings and they're all upstairs and they all have to run all the way downstairs to answer the phone.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, those were the
Dum 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 dum
days.
dum 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 dum. Hello.
And then it would like ring off just as you get
Yeah.
there as well. Oh, so annoying.
Ah,
I always remember when I was younger, like I was so happy, like when my mum let me have a handset, a phone in my bedroom. I was like, it was
whoa.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
this is like when I got a bit older, but obviously we must have had a phone line up there. But she let me have one, and then like my friends would phone, and then you'd have that awkward exchange of like, okay, mum's just shouted up the stairs, and then she's got to go and click the phone downstairs while I pick the one
Yeah.
upstairs and be like, Mum, put the phone down. Are you
Hello,
still
is somebody on the line?
there?
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember
Oh,
we went to America in 1996 as like a family trip to visit my aunt, and my
yeah.
mum was like obsessed with the fact that my aunts, the Americans, all had those long cords that you could like
Mm,
walk around the kitchen.
yeah.
Everywhere you went, you were still on the phone, even though you were attached. So when we got back from America, that was my mum's big thing was we need to get a phone that has a really long cord
Oh, I
so I can
love
walk around the
that.
kitchen talking on the phone.
Oh, I love that. Oh, that's such a good memory. Matthew said as well, today we just wouldn't answer the phone at all.
Never
This is very
answer the
true.
phone.
Yeah, like you see someone phoning, you're like, why are they phoning
Yeah.
me?
There
Yeah.
was someone in a cafe that I go to the other day who absolutely lost her rag at somebody phoning her, where she was like, I want to be taken off your your database immediately. How did you even get me on? And she went on and on. Eventually she was just like, oh, fuck off. And then she looked around, she was like, sorry, everyone, sorry. I get them all the time.
See, I just wouldn't answer. If an unknown number calls me,
Don't.
like, I'm just like,
Block.
no. Yeah, that's it.
Go
Gone.
on 𝐂𝐴𝐸𝐿𝐷.co.uk and then you block them.
Yeah. Oh, advanced technology. Karen said, I remember when I got my own house phone and voicemail machine.
Oh.
I loved getting voicemails. Like, it was so cool. Yeah. I remember our first like voicemail machine. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. We never had a machine, but we had 1571, which was like the voicemail service on BT.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh, blast from the past.
Yeah. Me and my sister recorded the voicemail message for our house.
Oh.
And it was us alternating words on the message. So it was like, hello, you have reached the yeah.
Oh, that's like proper cool, that is. I
God,
love
thanks,
that.
yeah.
No, I love that. That's brilliant.
You had to find ways to entertain yourself in the 90s.
Yeah, that's it. That's what we had to do.
Yeah.
The only other thing that I picked up on when Piper goes on the date with Jack, so he mentions it's the 90s. Is there anyone that doesn't have one, as in an ulcer? And I was like, was this a thing in the 90s? Like that everyone said they had like stress ulcers. Yeah. I was like, oh.
I know. I also just love that phrase. It's the 90s, because that is such a sign of the times.
It's like, what's the problem? It's the 90s. Get on with it.
It's so progressive. It's so open-minded.
Trina said, I remember when 1471 came in and you could check who called you. Yeah. And Kirsty said that still exists. Wow. For all that time. That's so cool. So charming dialogue then. Did you pick up any charming dialogue?
I liked it when Piper said, I love love.
Oh, yeah.
Such a Piper line.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so sweet.
Yeah.
And I loved Phoebe yelling, go away, horny tomcats. And the cats are pouring at the window.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I love that as well. Oh, that's brilliant. And what did I write down? Write down. Piper, after trying the exercise video right at the beginning of the episode, she's like, oh, I give up. 2 weeks and nothing strengthened but my temper. And I was like, I love that. I'm going to use that one. I also love Phoebe saying, there must be more to our powers than warlock wasting.
Oh, yeah, I didn't notice that one.
That made me chuckle.
Warlock wasting.
And then I also wrote down, but I can't remember which one said it, whether it was Andy or Daryl. Is it Daryl? Yeah, it's Daryl, right? Yeah. Doubting myself then. And one of them said, murder. I hate it when we say that.
Yeah, that was cute.
Yeah,
They're a good
and I was like, brilliant. Yeah, I love them together. So Cameron said it also meant I didn't have to use the party line anymore.
Oh, yeah, the party line.
Because I had a personal line, so no more parents listening to calls. It was so fancy for me. What was the party line? How did I not know about this?
Now, I don't remember exactly how it works, but when phones, they were like you would have a phone number for a building, and you would all share the same phone line.
Yeah.
It was like it's like a party, like a shared party would have access to the line.
Oh, interesting.
There's a Doris Day. Is there a Doris Day film called Party Line?
Oh, okay.
Or is it? No, sorry. There's a film called Pillow Talk, which is Doris Day and Rock Hudson.
Yeah.
And they have the same phone line. So like they have a meet cute over the phone line because they live in the same building.
Oh, okay. I didn't know about that. How interesting. And how interesting I'd never heard of that before. Learn something new every day. Oh
Now
wow.
that it's gone out of fashion,
Yeah.
it's not useful anymore.
Yeah. So Matthew said it was several residencies on one phone line, and then he said pillow talk.
Yeah, pillow
Ah,
talk.
I need to see that. I've never seen that.
Yeah, it's fun.
Kirsty said, do we ever see dial-up internet on Charmed?
We
I'm not
don't
sure.
hear it.
No.
We do see in the very next episode that we're going to talk about tonight, we do
Yeah.
see the internet.
Yeah.
So we'll address it
Mm.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Melina says, I love that Doris Day film. Yeah, I've never
Oh,
seen that. I
I
need to
love
watch
Doris
that.
Day.
Sounds
She's
cute.
great.
Kirsty said, is that where the phrase towing the party line comes
Yeah.
from? Oh, yeah, of course. Oh, I feel so educated. This is
Yeah.
why I need these chats.
Yeah.
Matthew said, I love all Doris Day films. I
Oh,
adore her.
she's brilliant.
Oh, do you know
So
what? It's really shameful to
classy.
say. Not sure I've ever seen any Doris Day films.
Oh,
I
you
know.
should. Well, Calamity Jane
Oh,
is
I
brilliant.
must have seen that.
Yeah,
I
she's
must have
great in
seen
that.
that.
If you
Yeah.
like musicals, Calamity Jane. If you
Yeah.
like a thriller,
Ooh.
The Man Who Knew Too Much, which is a Hitchcock
Ooh.
film,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
she
okay.
plays the wife of a guy who I can't remember. She sings 𝐂𝐡𝐚𝐫 in it. I think it's been a while, but
Oh,
she's great in it.
okay.
It's about an
I'm gonna
assassination plot.
I'm gonna check. I'm sure I would have seen her in something, but and
Yeah,
I've obviously never like related her to the film,
yeah,
maybe, but
yeah.
I'm gonna rectify that because that's just shameful that I haven't. Yeah, Trina said I've never heard of Party Line either. Matthew
Oh,
said, did you know Doris Day hated Doris Day? She didn't even like her friends to call her Doris Day.
oh,
Oh,
oh. So it was a stage name.
oh, yeah. So The Man
Mm,
Who Knew Too Much, 1956.
yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay,
a good
check
one.
them out. Yeah. So in this episode, then, who was our sister of the episode? Josh?
Prue.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, two reasons. The
Yeah.
first is the aforementioned amazing bath
Mm,
because she knows how to look after herself. All the trimmings,
yeah.
best bath ever.
Yes.
Um,
Amazing.
and secondly, because she gives the best advice about empowering yourself in the world of dating as a woman. She basically tells Piper
Yeah.
that they should stop trying to figure out what men want from them and find out what they want for themselves, which
Yeah.
is just a very,
That's a
it's
good
still, I think, a fantastic bit
message.
of advice.
Yeah, definitely. See, you've convinced me now because I put on my notes, this is a tough one, as I don't feel like one particular sister in this episode stole the show kind of
Yeah.
thing. So then I was like, I wrote on my notes, maybe Phoebe because she let Hans like walk in half naked and that was fun.
It's a valid
But I've been
reason.
put off with the milk now. So now my
Yeah,
reason for
smelly
that
milk.
really negates what you've just wonderfully said about
Oh,
Prue's message.
yeah.
So,
Empower
but
yourself, Shelley. Empower yourself.
yeah, exactly. Don't be swayed by half naked men drinking
No.
milk
Yeah.
out
But
of
I
the
mean, that if
bottle.
that's what you want, then that's
Yeah,
entirely living Prue's advice.
yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah.
but I think after chatting about it and listening to what you've just said, I do agree. I think it was Prue in this episode. Um, just definitely because, and seeing that vulnerable side of her, where, as you say, where she's not in control as she
Hmm.
normally is. That was really interesting to see.
She
Definitely.
also gets to, and the show pretty much never did this again, like a really fun stylistic flourish of like a camera swivel
Yeah.
where when Phoebe's like, "Oh, we are so busted, aren't we?" and then it goes, vroom, and they basically just cut out her explaining what the spell is and proving like, "You've got to be kidding me." And then it happens
Yeah.
again when she's in the dream world and she hears the phone ring, and she's like, "Huh?" and the camera
Oh
goes
yeah.
to the phone.
Yeah.
Very stylish
Interesting.
Charmed, that.
That
Yeah.
was, and very 90s as well. Very
Yeah.
90s. Trina said Prue for her too was the sister of the week. Matthew said Prue in this one. Usually Matthew said his team Piper, but Prue in this one definitely. Karen said you had to grow, going back to the party line, you had to grow up on a terrible London housing estate to get a party line. You also had to fight past your proper dodgy neighbours to get to the phone. I love that. So to wrap up the episode then, how many brooms out of 5 would you give this episode, Josh?
Should we do it at the same time?
Go on then. Shall I do a countdown?
Yeah.
I think you're good. Go on. Okay, I'll do a countdown. So 3, 2, 1.
2.
2.5. Oh! I only went 2.5 because of how bad the next one is. And I was like, this one for me, I know we'll get into the next episode, but this one for me was better than episode 6.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay. We'll talk about that.
Yeah. Okay. So why did you give this one 2 brooms? Just because you weren't a fan?
Because I found it a bit just all on one level. Like there was a bit of excitement with the love spell.
Yeah.
But I found it quite repetitive.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And I didn't think that the villain was particularly well portrayed, shall we say.
Yeah, they could have done better with the villain. Yeah. And I know that clip I shared in my stories today, I know that Holly is not a fan of this episode.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't like this one. Yeah. So
skip it.
Skip it. I think she does say, can we skip it?
Yeah.
Matthew said, 3 brooms, Matthew said.
Oh.
And Trina said 3.5.
Oh,
because it's memorable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Wouldn't seem
memorable.
You're not going to forget it, are you?
A nightmare on Charmed Street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coupled with dream date point horror. Yeah. Matthew does say one of the brooms.
Dream Day on Charmed Street.
Yeah, I like that. That's what they should have called it. Matthew just say one of the brooms is for the garbage song. Yeah, that was excellent.
That song did a lot of heavy lifting in those dream sequences.
Yeah, definitely. And considering as well, as far as I know, that wasn't a released track by Garbage at that time. It was just an album track. Right. Correct me if I'm wrong. I might be really wrong on that, but I believe it was just an album track, stroke look. Not that I remember it being released here in the UK, at least, anyway. So interesting.
It doesn't feel like a single.
Yeah.
It's sort of a bit more about atmosphere than sort of a hook.
And it's this is really embarrassing. I was like toying whether to share this about this song.
Oh God!
But like,
I'm also gonna do so.
no, it's not that bad. But like, so I was a huge Garbage fan when that album came out, and it's just a weird coincidence. So obviously, I'd never seen this episode of Charmed, and I used to be, Coinky Dink, but I used to, because I used to play the guitar a lot when I was younger. So I used to like kneel on my bed, like my guitar wasn't plugged in or anything, and I used to imagine I was singing to like the devil. Like, so I was on the bed and I was like strumming and I was singing away with like Shirley from Garbage to the devil down below underneath my bed. Like, and that was like, and that was like really cool. And like, so isn't that weird though, that song evoked that like thought, and then obviously it was used in an episode like this. So yeah.
Been such a good dream sorcerer. I feel like this episode should have been yours.
Exactly. Like on top of my bed, like going. But But yeah, that's honestly that's what I used to do, because I used to like sit in my bedroom a lot and like pretend I was some like famous rock star.
Oh,
Got many a story.
yeah.
Matthew said, yeah, it wasn't a single. That said, every song on their debut album is single worthy.
Oh,
Yeah, I
such a good
agree,
album.
100%. Yeah,
Can you
Team Me was
see? Aren't you
very
glad you got
happy.
the Blu-ray? Because if you'd been watching this without the garbage song, it would have
Yeah,
been utter. You would have been
it would have been.
garbage.
I'm gonna have to just watch what they did put over that
Oh
every time
yeah,
that song came on.
yeah.
Matthew said he saw Garbage opening for Smashing Pumpkins in 1996. It doesn't get much
Mm,
more 90s than that. Oh, I'm so jealous.
wow.
Garbage was way better than Smashing Pumpkins. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, I
of
was such
course, of
like, honestly,
course.
I wanted to be Shirley.
She is an
That's like,
icon.
honestly,
So
I even down to
cool.
like, like the velvety trousers that she used to wear. I made my
Yeah,
mum go out and buy me like a pair of these like rusty coloured velvety
yeah.
trousers just so I could be like her.
No,
I
that is
was
the
obsessed.
90s.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, icon.
Um, so shall we move on to episode 6, The Wedding from Hell?
Let's do it.
And I think we'll probably get through this one a little bit quicker, to be honest, but we'll see. So, synopsis then. So, the most wealthy family in San Francisco are planning a wedding. So, Mrs. Grace Spencer's son, Elliot Spencer, is set to marry Alison Michaels. That is until Grace is unexpectedly visited by her old acquaintance. For some reason, I put Hannah Webster and Jade D'Mon, but it's Jade, isn't it? It's the main one. Who put a spell on Elliot to marry Jade, who is actually the demon. Is it Hecate?
Yeah,
We'll go
yeah.
with it. And obviously, it's with the intention to get pregnant and have little offspring demon babies with Elliot's little things. I don't know where that was going. I didn't write that down. Oh dear. My mind just went off wondering then, and I was like, what am I saying?
You're back in the room.
I'm back here now. So Piper is left to cater the wedding because her former boss, surprise, surprise,
Chef.
has left for France.
What's his name?
Chef Moore?
Yeah, Chef Moore.
He's left for France.
More.
Surprise, surprise.
Surprise.
Yes. And obviously Piper enlists Phoebe's help, and Phoebe does give help to Piper because she thinks Piper is pregnant after finding a pregnancy test in the bin in the bathroom.
So well.
Hidden so well. Yeah, she had to rummage right through that bin to find it. And she thinks that she's pregnant with reporter / warlock child Jeremy. Jeremy gets a mention. I was like, oh, it's like visiting an old friend. So obviously she agrees to support the sister. And when a priest is murdered in the mansion with an ancient dagger, the sisters start to investigate what exactly is going on behind closed doors in these rich people's lives. Yeah. Dum,
The
dum,
bold
dum.
and the beautiful.
Oh, I must have said Hecate's name correctly because Matthew said, yes, I was happy to hear them pronounce. Oh, maybe I'm not saying it correctly. I thought Matthew was praising me there.
Oh,
But yeah.
I'm sure you said it right.
Yeah. Most of the time people don't pronounce it the right way. Oh. And then Sharon said, this annoyed me. Hecate is a goddess, not a demon. Way to piss off the pagans. Yeah, it wasn't very factual. Yeah. So
they just pinched that name, didn't they?
Yeah, definitely. Matthew said, yes, Sharon, the goddess of witchcraft. So why didn't she know what the Halliwell sisters were up to? Oh dear.
Yeah.
So we'll start with this one with the sister bond then. So obviously there's lots of family drama over the shower schedule, which starts off the episode.
Yeah.
Oh, I said it right, yay. So yeah, so there's lots of shower drama that you know, they're all trying to, and quite rightly so. I think it's
Yeah,
Piper says use the bathroom downstairs.
but
Yeah,
it's the one
definitely.
that vanishes very
Yeah.
quickly. Yeah, becomes a closet,
um,
becomes a coat closet.
and then obviously we've got the whole scenes of Piper doing the pregnancy test, throwing it in the bin, and
Mm,
Phoebe
mm,
finding it. So what did you think of the sister bond, like at the start of the episode, with that thought of that Piper could be pregnant
yeah,
with a
yeah, it was
warlock's
fun.
baby?
On the topic of them moving around the order of the episodes,
Mm,
this episode felt like a sequel to the pilot episode.
yeah.
You know, it felt like it probably was originally episode 3, maybe, because
Mm,
episode 2 kind of addressed Piper's fear of being a witch and if that made her evil.
yeah.
And then this episode addresses the fallout for her of like, oh God, what if I got pregnant from
Yeah, that's
Jeremy,
so
a
true.
demon? So this feels like one that they pushed way back, almost to sort of like, you know, to help people forget it exists,
Yeah.
because it comes late enough that it's sort of, you know, it's before the break, it's the Christmas break kind of thing.
Mm,
So yeah, it felt like they were picking up a lot of threads that was begun in the first
yeah.
couple of episodes. I loved the like the French farce of their misunderstanding in the first scene in the
Oh,
kitchen,
yeah, in the
where
kitchen.
Prue's
Yeah.
talking about Piper's job and Phoebe has
Yeah.
found the pregnancy test. And Prue says things like, "Oh, I don't think people will even notice." And Phoebe's like, "What?" You know? That
Doesn't
was
she say
brilliant.
something like, "Oh, um, oh, I can't remember. It's some like basically like it's like a discarded thing or something."
Yeah.
And Phoebe's like, "Oh." Yeah,
Yeah.
I love like things like that with misunderstandings and things like how easily it can happen.
Yeah.
Things like
It's
that. Yeah, I love
another
that.
one. It's another one that puts Prue kind of on her own a bit
Mm,
again, and
mm.
Piper and Phoebe, um, in you know doing their own thing to one side.
Yeah,
But
that's true. Yeah.
but yeah, I liked Prue scribbling a morning shower schedule for the sisters, where she puts Phoebe last.
Yeah.
But Phoebe's the one who hasn't got a job, so she can get up whenever she likes. Of course, she goes last.
Yeah, I like
Um,
that as well. That was
and
cool.
I loved Phoebe standing up for Piper when they go to see Grace, the mother of the bride, and
Yeah.
that she's upset because Chef Moore isn't there, and isn't the wedding's going to be ruined because Piper's clearly nowhere near as good as Chef Moore, who's
Oh,
French.
dear.
So I love Phoebe stepping in and being like, "No, Piper's really good at her job, and everything's going to be
Yeah.
absolutely fine. So just
Yeah.
chill out."
Like proper sticking up for her sister. Like
Yeah,
she's far
yeah,
better than what you give her credit for. Yeah, I
yeah.
like that.
She really cares.
Yeah, that was good.
Hmm.
Um, I love the dynamics between, again, in this one, between Piper and Phoebe. So that's where I think these episodes do go quite well together to watch, because you've got that bond that's happened in the
Mm-hmm.
previous episode, which kind of carries on into this one. But I do think, like you, that this should have come early, because you could be like, Jeremy who?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. It's been a long while.
yeah,
Like if it's been almost over a month, if it's 6 episodes, let's say it was just over a month, six
yeah,
weeks. That's quite a long time to suddenly be
yeah.
like, shit, am I pregnant?
And then also as well, like Phoebe's not working, but she did have get a job in episode 4.
Mm,
So
yeah,
what
yeah,
happened?
yeah.
So then, because of their relationship, Piper and Phoebe's relationship, I love how somewhere along the line when they talk about the pregnancy, Piper says you're supposed to take the garbage out, not dig through
Yeah,
it. But she literally
yeah,
just threw that pregnancy test at the
yeah.
top of the rubbish,
I
visible to
know.
anyone. So there was no digging
No.
involved. So I kind of think Phoebe took that on the chin quite well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've written down here that I love how Phoebe is happy to support Piper. Oh yeah, so she's happy to support Piper, but then when she still thinks she's carrying a demon baby, she's like researching how to kill her if the demon baby comes out. There's no
Yeah.
hesitation or
You're
concern. She's just
Hecate,
like,
I'm gonna have to
look,
kill you.
Piper, I'm going to have to do it. This is like, for the good.
Yeah.
But there's no emotion there or like
Yeah.
anything.
I love it. That's like a very New York approach. I feel like she spent
Yeah.
a couple of months in New York. She got toughened up, and she was like, "I'm just gonna have to kill her.
Yeah.
It's just what I'm gonna have to do to survive."
I did love that scene. It did
Yeah.
make me laugh. So as the episode progresses, I also like because Prue makes it clear that she hates weddings. That's why she's not involved in all that side. And I do love how we get what we want. The sisters come together at the end. So did you like that? Like them coming together at the end, not just
Yeah.
left Prue out
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah. You've got to get them
Yeah,
together.
yeah,
Power of three.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
They
And I
don't really
think
do anything.
no, I
She
don't
brings
really.
she brings the dagger, which Elliot picks up and slays the demons. I mean, Prue technically moves them or something towards the dagger, but
Yeah.
yeah,
I
it's
mean, in
not
that
really a
whole
great
scene,
vanquish.
this is why I was like his little swimmers because, like, that whole scene is weird, right? Because
Yeah,
they walk in as she's like on top of him, but they're fully clothed. So obviously, she's trying to do the fertility pregnant thing,
yeah.
like the demon is, not the sisters, just to clarify. So
Piper was like, "Wait a minute, I do want a demon baby."
yeah, so that whole scene was just so weird. And then he kind of just picks the dagger up and then that's it. Done.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was very strange.
lucky
Um
vanquish.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Matthew said their kitchen looks almost like Lorelei Gilmore's kitchen in Gilmore Girls. Oh
Oh,
yeah. So
yeah.
much so that I had to look up to make sure it wasn't the same. They're so similar. That's so true.
I'm going to have to go and
Um
look up the Gilmore Girls kitchen now. Quite nice. Yeah.
yeah. Sharon said the trays and trays of vol-au-vent cases is so 90s. They looked
Mm,
yummy though. I was like, oh, I'm
hmm
hungry.
hmm
I want Piper to cook for me.
Yeah.
Um, Trina said, I did notice that Phoebe still isn't working. She's just helping Piper sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to know what
It's
happened
tough out
to her job.
there. Yeah.
Tough in the 90s.
Yeah.
So did you notice any mythology in this one with the sisters?
Um, they learn that Piper has to get closer to the object she's trying to freeze
Yeah,
because
I noted that
her
one.
powers haven't developed enough yet. So she tries to freeze the demon bridesmaids.
Yeah.
They don't freeze, but the fly that is nearer
Oh, the
to her
little
does
fly.
freeze.
Yeah,
Yeah. So there's that one.
yeah,
Then Prue also mentions that it's not a coincidence that Piper is catering the wedding,
yeah,
and they're going to have to just accept that it's just one of those things they can look forward to as protectors of the innocent. They just sort of get brought into the orbit of people
mm,
who need their help.
yeah. And I liked that. I like the fact that like coinkydinks
Yeah,
happen, and like they're just needed. It felt like they were saying they're just needed at this point to help Alison, who was obviously the bride who's been jilted
jilted.
or pushed out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that it's their job to do it. And I also like that Prue opens up to Alison, and I think is it the
Mm,
first time we see them actually say to someone else, "Look, I'm a witch,
yeah.
and I've got these powers that could help." And I think that's the first time we've seen that. Oh,
Definitely to
apart
like
from
a
to a
regular
human,
person.
yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously,
The
with the
ghost.
ghost,
Yeah.
we've seen it, but to actually like a human who's walking around who could go and tell other people,
Yeah.
that's the first time
I love
we
how
see it. And
Prue's just sort of like, come into our lovely witch's house and come sit in our
yeah,
conservatory and I'll just tell you about how badass I am. Just love
yeah.
it.
She was so nice to Alison, though.
Yeah.
I thought that was like a really sweet scene.
Prue.
What else did I write down? I've written down here, declaration of love sealed with a kiss. The Book of Shadow advises that that's how. I think they find something in there that's how they can solve the issue that's going on with the
break the
demon.
curse.
Yeah. And also wrote down about the freezing as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also I did note that whole scene with the stripper.
Oh yeah.
But what I did note from that scene was obviously the sisters are looking from the outside in and seeing. I mean, I don't know what was more horrific, the stripper or like they're like, oh, yum, pizza, and it's like, oh wait. So I don't know what was more horrific, that or then them seeing them devour it, saying I'm hungry. But they're kind of like the priest and the stripper, to me, are kind of like the first innocents that we see that the sisters can't really save in that moment.
Yeah, like I really didn't understand why they just didn't save the stripper. It was like, is he technically not an innocent because he strips for a living?
Yeah.
Like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
He's allowed to die?
Or maybe it's just because it escalated very quickly from like,
Yeah.
oh, yummy pizza to, oh, wait.
I thought you were going to say
So
something
then,
else then. Yummy pizza.
you know me too well, John. Oh, but yeah,
I would be very upset if I ordered a stripper and that guy did. He does, when he strips, he takes everything off immediately.
There was no like,
No,
yeah.
it's just immediately just in his thong. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, if I pay for a stripper, I want you to strip slowly.
He was like, you want to see the pickle? You asked for extra pickle? Here's the pickle. That scene was so disturbing. I was like, I'm not going to get over it.
I wanted to see more. I wanted to see them actually properly eat him. I thought it was a bit tame.
Yeah. Like, make them a little bit more evil than just like dodgy demon masks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't very good. Matthew said nobody had a birthday in this episode, so Phoebe didn't need to work. That's very true. Shaman said Alison was a 90s book cover girl, right? Yeah, she did look very 90s, yeah. Very, very 90s.
She looked just like Maria in Roswell with that short red hair.
Yeah. I did have to question though. Oh, I feel really bad saying it, but her acting at the beginning of the episode was awful. Elliot,
Elliot,
no! And like, have you been watching White Lotus with Posey Parker? And she's like, no! No! That's how it came across, but like
give us some screaming dialogue. Bit. Just have her be like, what's happening? Someone get help. You know, why were they getting her just to melodramatically scream no? Like,
the screaming bit was like, I was like, oh no, we've got another demon dream warrior.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say, oh no, we've got another 40 minutes of this.
Well, the first thing I wrote in my notes was like, Elliot, no! And I was like, oh dear. But she got better in the end.
She did. I liked her by the end.
Yeah, definitely. Trina said, go on. There you go.
No, just the mythology-wise, it's not necessarily mythology, but we do see Rex and Hannah are still lurking at work and sort of, they were going to the wedding and I wish that we'd seen them at the wedding. Yeah. Why didn't they go?
Well, did they decide not to go because it was too risky?
They went to the
because the sisters were there. Yeah. So they could see people like get hurt and injured at the football game.
Yeah.
Oh dear. I quite like, at the moment, I like the intrigue of Rex and Hannah.
Yeah.
And like,
what's the game here?
Like, what is going on? Because obviously they get the facility, the fertility icon.
Yeah.
And there's all that drama around that. Like, we've bought this for someone particular, and it's like, oh, we know who you bought it for. Hecate.
I also just felt sort of like culturally and ethically assaulted by the fact that they were going to separate fertility statues. Like they came as a
Yeah.
pair, and they were just going to sell them off separately.
Yeah, so one was male, one was
Yeah,
female,
yeah.
right?
So
Yeah.
that shouldn't be allowed. They should be conserved as a pair.
Yeah, definitely.
Come on,
Um,
Bucklands, buck it up.
Book it up.
Yeah.
Trina said with regards to the pizza, and they chose a pizza delivery guy instead of typical men in uniforms. That was a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They wanted something a bit sort of salty. I don't know.
I don't get it. Like,
Yeah.
if I was going to choose a stripper, it
Yeah.
wouldn't be a pizza delivery guy.
What would it be, Chelley?
Like,
A ghost?
you put me on the spot now. I'm like, I can't think.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like
Mine would be like a personal
David
trainer
Tennant
or
in Doctor
something.
Who. What did you say?
I'd be like a personal trainer.
Oh yeah, yeah,
They're always
personal
really
trainer.
ripped.
Just someone in a long coat, that'll do me. He just
You
comes in
want
a
as little
long
stripping as
coat.
possible. Just a
Maybe
bit of
like, yeah. So maybe like a military style coat,
oh, okay.
long. It's got to be
We're getting
specific.
into it now. We're getting
I
into
know.
it.
I know. Not pizza. Oh dear. Trina said Joshy must have had more jobs lined after. Yeah, maybe like he was actually a delivery pizza man.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, Sharon's laughing that he wanted your money, your Josh wanting his money's worth.
Yeah. Dude,
Yeah.
job.
Matthew said maybe he was an economy tier stripper.
Yeah. You want the deluxe package, ma'am? Oh no, the deluxe package. What does that mean?
Extra salami on that pizza. Choppy choppy. Matthew said, hey, I live in the south, and I scream no like Parker all the time. Parker Posey is mwah, chef's kiss, love that, and I love her in like tsunami.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that's the only style of American accent I can actually copy. So
good.
yeah, it's so good. Matthew said, yeah, I felt bad for the poor male fertility god.
Yeah.
Oh, poor
On his
little,
own.
left on his lonesome.
Oh.
So love is pain. So
Yeah.
romance dramas. I put there was not really much love drama for the sisters in this one, apart from the baby drama.
Yeah.
But
There was a bit of flirting between Prue and Andy about his artifact.
his artifacts. Yeah. Yes, there was. Yeah.
I did laugh at this one when the police turn up and guess who it is? Daryl and Andy again.
The only two police in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Maybe, as Prue said, they just keep getting drawn to the supernatural cases because there are no coinkydinks.
Yeah, no coinkydinks.
They keep pushing Prue and Andy together.
Yeah, so that's got to be a sign, right?
Yeah, that's my theory.
Yeah. So other than that, with the sisters, there wasn't obviously much love drama, but obviously the whole wedding, fertility, demon-y thing. But yeah, I didn't pick anything else up, I don't think. Not that I can think of.
I wasn't really sure why they had to get married for her to get impregnated with a demon.
No sex before marriage, Josh.
Is that what it is? Even demons are like, whoa, I do not do
Demons are like, that's a step too far. Hecate's like, I ain't no hoe. Not that I'm saying if you have sex before marriage, you're a hoe. It was just a joke. But maybe like going with the moral of the 90s.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. No, yeah,
No,
totally.
no.
I feel like if they were gonna play up the fact that she just really liked the being center of attention and like the fun of being a bride and all that kind of stuff, they
Yeah.
could have played that up a little bit more. That she was actually
Mm,
enjoying being the bride. You know,
yeah. Yeah.
that was part of her sort of like evil plan to just like fuck everyone up.
Yeah. They didn't make her evil enough for me. Like, that's why it
Yeah,
just didn't work for me. Like, yeah, okay. You know, she was having a dress made and a needle went in her leg and she didn't even flinch. Like,
yeah,
that doesn't really make it evil. I needed more
yeah,
evilness.
yeah.
Um,
And like the I thought the casting of the main bridesmaid was brilliant because you could tell that she'd like pull a knife on you, you know. She was
yeah.
really, but they
She
kept
looked
giving
so
her awful
familiar.
dialogue.
Yeah, she looked really familiar as well. Didn't well, to me, I just
Yeah,
like I've seen her in something
she
before.
was a good actor. I wonder if she went on to do something quite good.
Yeah. What were you saying about the dialogue,
They
sorry?
just kept giving her really bad dialogue.
Oh yeah.
Like with the like when she was glaring, she was scary, but
Yeah.
when she started speaking, it was like, oh love,
Yeah.
I think now you're trying a bit too hard.
Yeah. It kind of reminded me a little bit, but obviously
So
it
I just
was
seen Trina saying the way she slowly appeared behind the priest. She just kind of goes,
yeah. But there's an episode of Doctor Who, which is the oh, I can't remember what it's called. Something, the one in Venice, where the evil people end up being like vampire women and that's done really well because it builds up the fact that they're very sinister people, like sinister creatures. Like, you get the impression that they're like purely evil, and it does it really, really well. But in this
mm,
one, I know it's a different entity, like a demon and vampire, but it just didn't hit the mark for me. I was
no,
just like, I'm not scared at all of these beings.
no,
Oh,
no.
not even with the
There was no
that's it,
threat.
vampires in Venice. That was it,
Ah,
Sharon. Yeah, but
cool.
it does it so well that um, the way they introduce like the vampires and the girls and stuff, it's very well done.
Mm,
It just in that 45-minute episode. So I was expecting something a little bit like that, really.
yeah, yeah.
Matthew said those catering uniforms Piper and Phoebe were wearing were pretty dramatic. How hot
They
did they look in
were
those
great
outfits?
outfits.
They were
Yeah,
brilliant.
good. I thought they
Yeah.
were going to go like tap dancing or something.
Yeah, they looked amazing. I thought of wearing one myself, but I didn't want to give you all nightmares. Oh dear. Matthew said it was the 90s, Josh. I don't know which bit that was about. Could have been about anything.
Yeah, yeah.
Sharon said, I thought it was because the child would be born into a rich, powerful family.
Right,
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Yeah,
Ah, okay.
yeah.
Maybe.
I didn't really get the impression that she was going to leave the baby with the
No,
family, though. I figured
no, I
she'd like
didn't
whisk it away and
take it
yeah,
to her evil lair.
yeah.
Matthew said we used to rent our farm for weddings, and compared to some of the bridezillas I've encountered, Hecate was a
Uh,
lamb. Yeah, so next category, work
oh
it
yeah,
drama.
let's work it.
So the main work it drama is obviously catering for the wedding,
Yes.
because Phoebe's very stressed about getting everything right because Chef Moore has done a disappearing act again.
Yeah.
Chef Moore is the one out of the first episode, right?
I
Or
don't. I
is
can't. I thought so as well,
yeah?
but she didn't get a job with Chef Moore. She got a job
Oh
with Quake.
yeah. Oh, I don't know. I'm going to look back and see if it is now.
Did
I
Chef
was
Moore
just
work
like,
for Quake?
because in the second episode, she references that the chef. No, it's not the chef. The owner has gone, so now she's having to wait tables
Yeah.
rather than cook. Yeah.
Mm,
Maybe not then.
don't know.
Um,
I
so
was confused when she said that she was covering for Chef Moore because I was
yeah,
like, wait a minute, no, that was ages ago.
yeah,
You work at Quake now.
yeah. um, So did you notice any workplace drama? So obviously the whole wedding is obviously workplace drama.
Yeah.
What did you think of that?
I mean, there's the mingling of Prue's work with the demonic undercurrents of Rex and Hannah.
Yeah.
So Rex is like fishing to see if Prue's going to be at this demonic wedding or not because they want to go.
Yes. What were they going to do at that wedding? That's what
they
I
were just
want
going
to
to
know.
sit there and be happy and clap and sort of throw confetti and
maybe it was some like demon orgy or
yeah,
something.
throw some
With
entrails on
Elliot's
the
little
bride.
yeah,
Come on,
like
Elliot.
what?
It's Rexy
Yeah.
time.
Oh no, I'm not going to look at
Yeah.
Rex the same ever again
Oh,
now.
right.
Sexy
Yeah.
Rexy. Yeah. So other than
No,
that, I didn't pick up any work, which was
I
kind of
did.
nice for a change.
Yeah, I liked that the plot was it was Piper's job,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
she had to deal with demonic crap that went along with it. You know, it
Yeah.
was
Definitely.
it melded in seamlessly.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously, demon of the episode, as I mentioned, is Hecate.
Yeah,
But yeah, as we mentioned, she is meant to be the goddess of witchcraft. So she's not portrayed like that in this episode, as we mentioned.
yeah.
And I noted down and said I put Hecate is like a good example of how Charmed like tweaks reality a little bit,
Mm,
because we do get that a bit further down the line, I think, where it's not quite as we know it
yeah,
ourselves. They just tweak it slightly.
they've witched it up.
They witched it up.
Yeah,
And obviously I like the whole thing with the dagger.
yeah.
But that dagger, Andy, right, just like hands over evidence to Prue, like
We found this next to a dead body. Yeah, you can keep hold of it.
yeah, just take it with you. It's fine. Don't need to fingerprint it. Don't need to like put it in an evidence bag or
No,
anything.
no.
You know, it's not. It's just a blunt object.
It was so like on the high def. It looked so plastic. It was hilarious.
Yeah, it did. It did look really plastic.
Yeah.
But I did read as well after this episode, because what did you think of like the makeup of the demons, like the prosthetics? I can never say that word. But what did you think of their look?
I was really excited to see that demon because it's been in the opening credits for 5 episodes.
Oh yeah, of course.
And so when I was first watching the show, I was like, "Ooh, when's that really cool demon going to be in it? Because that looks awesome."
Yeah.
And then when they turn up in this one, I was like, "That sucks." Some of them can't really move their mouths.
Yeah.
All they can really do is just sort of like stand there doing a bit of like this.
Yeah. Or
They're
this.
useless, just snarling. Yeah, just like, There's no fighting, there's no attacking. They just stand around.
Yeah.
Kind of like going, and yeah, it's very annoying. And also, I found it quite annoying that the bridesmaids had all had their hair done in a particular style. And then when they morphed into the demon, all the hair was just like,
it ruined their hair.
Yeah, it ruined the look.
Oh, but yeah, I did read after this one that the demons were designed to be more realistic and human-like after this episode, because they weren't happy with how the demons looked in this. I
did like it when Charmed did more of a Buffy style demon with all the prosthetics and stuff. And in later years, the show gets very lazy with that stuff and just casts a guy in a leather jacket, and it's like, I'm sorry, that doesn't quite cut it.
Yeah.
So there are a couple of really cool prosthetic demons in Charmed.
Yeah.
And I think this one looked cool, but they just couldn't
wasn't executed.
They couldn't figure out how to make it dynamic and interesting.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Don't blame the special effects.
And also as well, I think I did notice a factual error in this, because according to the show, Hecate only comes to Earth at once every 200 years.
Yeah.
Yet she was able to strike the deal with Elliot's mom a few decades prior to give her wealth.
Yeah.
So if she only comes every 200 years, how did that deal happen?
Maybe
Like,
that
I was just like,
maybe that was her 200 years, was doing a deal with Grace. And then she was like, oh, I suppose I better come back again in like 20 years
check on you.
to see it through.
Yeah. But like, Elliot wouldn't even be alive in 200 years. So like, I was like, we won't have no swimmers then, love.
It would make more sense if she'd made a deal with her like grandmother or her great grandmother.
Yeah, there was just I was a bit taken out of the episode at that point. I thought, well, that doesn't make sense to me. Like, how did this deal happen? I want to know more.
Yeah.
Was it like a death becomes her type of deal? You know, like what happens in there with the eternal youth and wealth and stuff. So
yeah. Didn't really make sense, did it?
No. Shaman said, Rex bomb. You're a Rex bomb. Oh, yeah, and Stargate. So you weren't here for the bloody My Bloody Valentine, but Shaman came up with the Crispy Mabel as like a cocktail. So now we're going to have Crispy Mabels and Rex bombs.
Yes.
As drinks menus. Prue's Latin skills were spot on. Yeah, definitely. Shaman said time moves differently in hell dimension. Okay. So maybe for Hecate then 200 years had passed, but in human years that was only like 20.
Yeah, they do actually address that in Charmed later on. So maybe that's
interesting.
a loophole.
Yeah. And Matthew says, not a factual ever. Surely not, Chelley. I was just like, but what Shaman's saying does...
Fact check.
Stop everything and fact check. Oh, dear. Oh, yes, and Kirsty said, and a Rex on the beach as well. Yeah.
Delicious.
We're going to have to make these cocktails. We're going to have to come up with some stuff.
While we're doing just one last thing for Demon of the Week, I do love the fact that Hecate calls herself Jade D'Mon. just hide in plain sight, Jade.
It's like how on earth did she come up with that? Like,
D'Mon.
You know,
genius.
Yeah. Love it. Yeah. It sounds posh enough to get away with what she's trying to get away with, I guess, in a wealthy mansion. But they use that in the Buffy episode and about the time differences in hell. Okay, that makes sense. On there now.
Got
it. So sign of the times, did you notice any sign of the times in this episode?
Yes, I did. On the topic of the internet, Prue's super retro laptop, which loads an image, but it begins as a load of pixels that gradually sort of like chunk, and load the picture.
Like loading down. Yes, I didn't notice that one. And
that's quite up.
At that moment, I was a bit like, surely Prue doesn't need the internet. Like normally she just knows these things. Doesn't she? Okay. I wrote down. Sorry. Go on. You go. I was going to say the tape.
Yes.
For the CCTV. But also the fact that Andy can all of a sudden... So think of the 90s and CCTV and how grainy it would be, but he can perfectly lip read.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like...
The priest wasn't part of the deal. That's what she said.
Yeah. But I'm sure he says it before.
Yeah, he does, completely.
Before she actually says it on the CCTV. That made me laugh. Yeah. So it wasn't just one tape of CCTV, it was like a whole box as well, which I kind of liked.
Yeah. I just love the sound of him putting the tape into the machine and the flap goes. Powers on. I love the sound.
Oh, Melinda says Andy has skills.
Is there anything Andy can't do? Magic.
That's it, Magic. You never know. Next episode. Trina said I had a note about the internet as well. Yeah. Oh, I didn't pick that one up. That was good. So charming dialogue in this one. Josh, did you pick up? The first one I did right was Elliot. No. But we've got.
I thought this was actually quite a funny episode. There were a lot of good lines in it.
Yeah.
I liked Mrs. Spencer, who's the mother of the bride. When she gets a shock, she turns to her maitre d' or whatever he is and says, "Charles, get me my pill."
I like that one. That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah.
Do you have any more? Or?
I also loved Phoebe, the very last line of the episode, when Phoebe's doing an impression of Andy, but it's kind of a Sean Connery voice when she's like, "Do you believe in destiny?"
Oh yeah, I like that one. Oh dear. And then I've written down because I think I was just obsessed with the no. But I wrote down either Andy or Daryl. I don't know why I keep not remembering whose line this is, but when they say lifestyles of the rich and shameless.
Yeah, that was Daryl.
Was it Daryl?
Yeah.
Oh, was it Daryl?
Daryl gets some good
that
ones.
was good for Daryl. Yeah. Like that.
I also liked Piper saying, "I've got buns in the oven."
And Phoebe's like, "What?" Yeah. Melina said, "Josh, I love your impressions."
Thanks.
They've been so good. So sister of the week in this episode.
Oh my
sister
God,
of the episode.
Do you know what? I didn't write a single note about Sister of the Week.
See, I put this is a tough one in this episode because, like, Prue kind of gets left behind. Phoebe and Piper are kind of the same as what they were in the previous episode. So for me, I don't think there's a Sister of the Week because in the end they all work together.
Yeah.
Maybe like Phoebe and Piper for those waiter outfits.
Yeah. They get joint Sister of the Week.
Yeah, joints.
Yeah. We're allowing it.
Trina said that she couldn't pick one either, so must have been a thing. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Power of three.
Power of three. So finally, we get to how many brooms out of 5 would you give this one, Jossie?
I think I can guess what you're going to give it. I'm going to give it a 3.
Oh, wow. I wasn't expecting that.
You know what's weird? I always hated this episode. Like, whenever I rewatched it, it would be like a hate watch.
Yeah.
And I was dreading watching it this time. But maybe it's something to do with the widescreen and like the fact that they're on location for the whole episode. They've got that amazing house that they're in.
Yeah.
There was something quite nice about it. And I actually thought that the sisters solving the mystery was done quite effectively. Like, I liked that when they first see Alison, she's really upset, but she doesn't sort of ask them for help or just sort of info dump her problem at them. She actually leaves and they're like, "I'll see you, weird girl."
Yeah.
And then it's only later when Piper finds the napkins with her name embossed on them that they start to be like, something weird is going on here. So I think I would say like the first half an hour of the episode for me is 3 stars.
Yeah.
And then the ending is just like such nonsense rubbish. Like when Hecate just suddenly starts like summoning the weather and stuff. I was like, oh my God. Yeah, so stupid.
Yeah.
So what's your score?
So for me, I gave it a 2.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking what I'd scored the others, and I thought there's no way that the last episode, as in episode 5 and episode 6, were not on a par with what we've already seen, in my opinion. So I gave it a 2 because I was like, I actually liked the dream one more than this one. So only just like a little smidgen. but this one, I found myself, I was drifting a little bit, like as I was watching it. It didn't capture my attention as much as the others, but so not too bad. A 2 is still not bad.
2 for
It's
you
not a
is
1.
pretty harsh, I have to say.
Yeah,
But
yeah, it is a little bit.
yeah,
But
I
I just
also
was
know.
like, I just didn't click with it. I
Yeah,
think for me, I just didn't click with it. What was
I
you
think
going to say?
I'm also quite aware of like just how bad some of the later episodes are. And at
Yeah,
least with this one, there's like a strong emotional through line for all the
yeah,
sisters. They care, they're engaged, and they care.
yeah. Oh,
Um,
okay.
so whereas later episodes, sometimes you're just like, you're phoning it in, mate.
Yeah.
All of you, you know. So
So maybe down the line I'll be going, Josh, remember when I gave like the Wedding from Hell a 2? I'm now like up in
yeah,
that, and then so maybe down the line it might change because I've just done it compared on what I've
yeah,
seen
that's fair.
so far. So
Absolutely,
yeah. But
as
do
you should.
expect me to say down the line, like, I think I've changed my
I might
mind.
I might go watch The Wedding from Hell again instead.
And see what's
What's
going
wrong
on.
with me?
Matthew said 3 brooms for him. Cameron was laughing at a hate watch with you going in like you thought you weren't going to like it, but you ended up liking it. Trina said 2.5 for me. The demon special effects weren't great, and I felt so bad for Alison. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Sharon said some great comedy moments in this one, so 3 brooms. Nikki said torn on this one, 2.5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Matthew said I watched Muriel's wedding and then this wedding episode last night, and I've had a problem with them bleeding together today. Like, which set of bridesmaids from hell was which?
Oh, Muriel, that demon.
Oh dear. And Sharon said, yeah, there's a couple of 0 brooms coming up. Oh, I wonder whether we will give any 0 brooms out. I never thought about that.
No,
Ooh,
possibly.
maybe.
Trying to think
We'll
if any,
see.
if there are any in season 1 that I would project giving a 0 to.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, I don't think there is. We're all
I
right. We're
think,
right for a while.
yeah, but I think for both of these episodes, I think we can agree that they just weren't really needed
No,
in the series. Like, they
no.
don't add anything extra, really. Even like the mythology, like we was pulling little bits out, not as much mythology as we normally
Yeah,
would. So they were a bit like filler episodes,
yeah,
I
exactly.
guess. Yeah. Apart from the bonding between Piper and Phoebe, which I think came across really well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But I
Kirsty
think
put,
we're having a little dip, but I think
yeah, and
the
then we're gonna go,
next 2, yeah.
like the pizza man. Well, I can't explain what goes through my brain. Like, honestly, I'm just
This
like.
is Elliot. This is the pizza man.
Oh dear. Kirsty said, I think the main problem is they followed episode 4. Yeah, that was a tough one to beat because that episode 4 was just so good, and then obviously,
So
yeah,
good.
these two followed, and
Yeah.
maybe when you're watching it, I mean, I know we've left a month between watching that and then this, but maybe like when you were in a position to watch them each week, maybe you wouldn't have noticed some. I don't know. I'm just thinking. I'm trying to like
I
redeem
think
mine
it's
too.
like, I think I felt robbed. I think when it was week to week, if there was a bad episode,
Yeah.
you felt like you'd been cheated out of watching the thing that you love.
Yeah.
You had to wait another week to see,
Like the
to
next
get
one.
the hit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Really
Yeah.
frustrating.
Yeah, definitely. But Josh, we've been like chatting again for like ages, but it's always really good
Charmed.
to chat with you. It's been charming
Charmed, I'm sure.
to chat with you. It's always such a
Yeah.
pleasure.
So much
And
fun.
and we've got episodes, what we've done, 6,
7
so we've
and
got
8.
7 and 8 next month. So
Yeah.
yeah, I can't wait
Gonna
to chat about
be
them.
good.
Oh, I can't
Yay.
wait. Oh, thanks
Thanks
everyone who's watched and
everyone.
joined in. Like, it's brilliant that you're joining in with us, and like you know, commenting and everything. So
Yeah.
sometimes you remind me and Josh of things that we've forgotten about.
No, it's great.
So thank you.
Thanks.
Okie dokie
Thanks,
then.
Chelley.
So thanks ever so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye, pizza man. Woo. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.